Hello, welcome back, everybody. So my name's Daniel Gormally. Just finished Hastings. I was playing against a young Chinese player today. He looked his age because often when you play the juniors, they look older than they are. But he looked around about his age, which I think is about 16, right? So obviously he's very good for a 16-year-old. He's 2500 and he's just got a GM norm. So he could be the new Chinese sensation. But yeah, it's wet to make a quick draw anyway because I'm white and I need to win the tournament. So it's something you should never do is just throw the tournament away. But the problem was, okay, in my defence, there's no real defence actually in this situation. But in my defence, I made a mistake last night because I went to the bar and somebody asked me if I wanted a drink, so I ordered a soya cappuccino. So when I got back to the room, I was really like, I couldn't sleep at all. And I thought I'd get to sleep, within a couple of hours because normally I go to bed about 12. And I thought, worst case scenario, I get to sleep in a couple of hours. I couldn't sleep at all, and about 5:30 in the morning, I was still awake. So I woke up about 7:30. So I had 2 hours sleep, which is like a horrible preparation for an important game. Now, if the game was at 3, that might not be such a problem, but which it was the normal round times. But we're playing in the morning in the final round. So that was a nightmare. And also, the money situation is a bit dodgy because if I lose, I'll literally have £2.33 in my bank account currently at the moment. So if I lose the game, I've got nothing. I mean, you're not going to get anything for 6 out of 9 as far as I can see, because there's loads on 5.5 who can jump to 6.5. And they're all looking quite decisive. Looking at the games now in play, they're looking like very likely to be. It's always the worst case scenario in these like final round. When you want people to draw, they always win, right? There's always decisive games when you need people to draw to bump up your prize. But my opponent is a very strong player, and he could have legitimately played on himself. I mean, he did think about my draw offer, my cowardly draw offer. But I think he comes equal first at worst with a draw, and it could be outright first if the board two's a draw. And he was already guaranteed a prize as well, right? So there is some argument for him playing on because he's already guaranteed, because he's on 6.5 already. He's already guaranteed at worst case scenario £500, right? I don't think he's probably not bothered about the money, to be honest. He's not there to win the money. But yeah, it's very disappointing in a way because I had a great game yesterday. Didn't build on that momentum. I kind of did because a draw with someone like that, he's a much stronger player than me, on current ratings. He's 2,500. I'm only 2420, and I'm probably going to go down in future years. He's going to go up. So, but overall, a good tournament. I mean, gain about 10 rating points, 10 and a half rating points. So very good tournament. Pleased with the tournament overall. There was one bad day where I drew with two low-rated players, where I was basically completely winning the second game and bungled it through fatigue again. And the first game I missed good opportunity in the early middle game. The first game in that morning. So that was the one bad day. But other than that, pretty much every game went smoothly. So overall, I'm playing well, but it's just disappointing when you have a golden chance to win a tournament. The funny thing was, before the game, I worked out that me and my opponent were the only two players who could win the tournament outright. So if I won and the board two was a draw, I think that's probably going to be like decisive. But then I'll be outright first. If my opponent won or drew, then he could potentially be outright first. Well, if he won, he would guaranteed to be outright first. But the board two, they couldn't be outright first because if someone wins, then somebody else from my board is going to get to at least 7. So, is that right? I think so, yeah, because they're also on 6, right? So you could have 2 Chinese winners if Peng wins. But yeah, overall good Hastings. I think the next tournament I'll play would probably be Isle of Wight. I might play something before that. I just got to keep working hard on chess because my results have been fairly okay recently. I started to slowly climb. I went down on live ratings during Northumberland Masters. I went close to going below 2400, but since then I've had a little bit of recovery. So if I can continue that kind of form, there's a good chance I'll get back over 2450, which is totally meaningless. But I think the more important thing is a fight. You know, it's pathetic what I did today, quite honestly, because you got to go all in that situation. I know he's a stronger player, but you got to go all in. Just it doesn't matter if you lose. But the difficult thing is my lack of money. Like if I had a bit more money, I'd probably gamble there. But again, you got to be brave. Like it doesn't matter about the money. You forget about the money. It's not that relevant. It's not like I'm going to be homeless if I lose, right? But yeah, anyway, that was Hastings. By the way, I should say that Hastings this year is probably better organised than any other Hastings I can remember. And that's a large part down to Stuart Conquest, people like Alex McFarland. Certainly Stuart, his sort of drive and determination has really kind of transformed this tournament, which has always been well run. But I think just the makeup of the players is really impressive. Like there's such an international field. And it kind of, you get that feeling it's a high-level event like a Gibraltar. Anyway, that was my blog. Sorry for the quick draw. It's pathetic, but well done to my opponent for getting a gem and coming equal first in the tournament. He's a very strong player. If he'd played on, he probably would have beaten me because he's a much stronger player. But the position was more or less equal. Tiny edge for white, the computer says.